This is Jenny with your weekly energy forecast for the week starting October 5th and running through October 11th. If you are new to my channel, I am a practicing shaman and I do energy readings and help people get in touch with their animal spirit guides. So we have to brace ourselves for a dramatic week because the card that came up when I tuned into the overall energy of the week is the Tower card. This is a card that talks about endings. The Tower that you see in the card is associated with our ego. These are the thought patterns and behaviors that we have built up that we think will keep us safe, that we think will ensure that we live a secure life. But these patterns are off. We all know that when we allow the ego to take over, it is not going to help us spiritually in any way. So the Tower talks about endings. Something is going to be brought to a conclusion this week, and it is going to be dramatic. The lightning bolt in this card strikes out of nowhere, so it might also come as a surprise to you. It is something that you might initially wish to escape, but once it has happened and you look back, you can see that it all happened for a reason, and that when this tower crumbled, it helped you move forward. In the original Rider-Waite deck, you can also see these people jumping out of the windows of the tower. So here you see clearly that it is a situation we initially want to escape. We don't want this to happen at first glance. So I definitely think that this is tied into what is going on in the world at the moment. It might have something to do with the illness of our president here in America. Something might happen in that regard that will be quite dramatic. But I also feel that this has to do with your own life. So there might also be certain things you do at the moment that are ego-driven that will be brought to a forced conclusion. I also feel that this tower energy might stay with us throughout the month of October. If you watched my monthly reading, we had a card of strife and conflict come up, clashing worldviews. So the tower here might also signal the beginning of all of that. But then remember that this is a conflict that needs to be resolved. We have to move past this, even though it feels as dramatic as this lightning bolt that shakes our entire foundation. Whenever the tower comes up, it is also important that you do not go into fear energy. If you remember the two other cards from my monthly reading, they both spoke about reaching out to your spirit guides, about going inwards, about meditating. So basically about staying calm. It's very important that we don't allow fear to take over when the tower comes up. It is a necessary change. But it does feel to me like an energy that might linger throughout the month of October. And it feels like an energy that has to do with the collective, but also with your own life. So maybe something in your family will change, maybe something in your work life, having to do with thought patterns or beliefs that you have had for a long time. So the crystal I have been guided to work with this week is rose quartz. This is a very gentle stone that many of you also know as the love stone. It is not surprising that this is the stone my spirit guides wish me to work with this week. Because when we have the tower energy come up and when we have strife and conflict going on, pouring love energy into the collective becomes even more important. I know some of you have written me and asked if I was going to do a reading on Donald Trump, and I don't intend to do that. It is not the type of readings that I am being guided to do on this channel. But I will say that whether or not you like him, if you want to operate from a place of higher consciousness, from a place of light, you have to send love energy out there. That means you have to send healing to him also. That is just the essence of being a light worker. So rose quartz is the love stone. It brings about compassion in you. It makes you open and helpful. It can also bring forth a romantic, dreamy side that you might have lost touch with. And maybe that's not so bad either when the energy is a little rough. It also enhances harmony within the family so that it becomes easier to live together. And you might be able to rekindle love that you haven't really felt that much of lately for various reasons. It is a wonderful, gentle energy that this stone has, but it is strong at the same time. It is one of the stones of Archangel Chamuel, so you can also use this crystal to get in touch with that particular energy. The more love we can pour into the collective at the moment, the better. There's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of disharmony, a lot of hate, a lot of anger. And the only way we can combat that, the only way we can change it is with love energy. It is the most powerful energy that we have at our disposal, love and forgiveness. So let's see what messages our spirit guides have for us this week. I will be using my Shamanic Medicine Oracle cards. So let's see what comes up. Here we have our first perspective. Our second perspective. And our third perspective. So the first card that came up is the conch shell. This is also called the Shamanic trumpet. So this card is a wake-up call. It comes up when your destiny awaits you, when your spirit guides have very important messages for you that you cannot ignore. This shell can blast away any blockages, any mental blockages that you might have. So the vibration of this shell is very strong, very powerful. So your spirit guides have a message for you that you cannot ignore. You need to do whatever it takes this week to listen. If that means shutting yourself away, going into deep meditation, going for long walks in nature, anything. But there's a message for you this week that you cannot ignore. You have to let them in. You have to allow them to speak to you. As I just said, the vibration of this shell is so strong that it can have the same effect as the tower here. It can shake things up. It can blast away any ego blockages that might prevent you from seeing what it is you are doing wrong, what it is that needs to be changed, that needs to be different. But your spirit guides have a very important message for you this week, and you have to listen. You have to open up your heart so that you can hear them. The next card that comes up is the Lodge card. Underneath the image, it also says counsel. So this card comes up when you have to seek the help of others. So when there are things you need to talk through with family and friends before you take the next step on your journey. So once you hear the message of your spirit guides, you need to talk it over with someone that you trust before you take the next steps. This card also comes up when we need to get in touch with the spirit of community again, when we have lost this sense of being in it together. So you have to do something actively this week to bring that about. Maybe there's someone who needs your help too. Maybe you need to reach out your hand and spread some of this gentle, loving energy of the rose quartz crystal. So this is a week for reaching out to your friends, for talking with your family about any new ideas that may come up, or about any changes that might occur for you this week, or changes that are likely to occur. If it is something earth-shattering in the collective too, it's very important that we talk about it, that we do not go into some kind of ego shell where we alone know what the right answers are. We need to talk, we need to communicate. The next card that came up is a very important native symbol. This is the medicine wheel. Underneath it, it says continuation. The medicine wheel gives you access to the energy of all four directions. When you step into the medicine wheel, you allow healing to occur, you allow enlightenment to occur. When you offer it your prayers and intentions, you allow it to cement your own personal philosophy, your own spiritual journey. You can certainly see it laid out. So it is a shamanic symbol that represents your own cycle of awareness and also the cycle of the year. So we are going from summer to fall now, so it's no surprise to me that this card is coming up now. It reminds us of the circle of life, the changing seasons. But first and foremost, this is a healing tool. It can heal your heart and it can open up your mind. It can open up your heart so that you can hear better. It can open up your heart so that you can reach out to others. It brings balance also. So if you feel out of balance, the energy of the medicine wheel can bring everything back in alignment. Now, I am a shamanic practitioner, so I sometimes create my own medicine wheel when I meditate. So I literally have a medicine wheel and I meditate inside that. But you don't have to do that to harness this particular healing power that the wheel has. Again, you can meditate with an image of that wheel. You can also pray with a crystal and give that stone all of your intentions, all of your prayers. See if you can somehow communicate that to the stone. And rose quartz is great here. So there are many ways you can still harness this particular energy. Working with the wheel can also be visualization. If you visualize how the seasons pass, see that as circular. You can visualize your own life and strive to be at peace with where you are in your life right now. So there are many ways you can harness this healing. But meditation is definitely a theme for October. It struck me in the October reading also how strongly it came out. And here we have meditation in both of these cards here. There's a message we have to hear this week that must come through. And meditation is the best way to achieve that. I will also be pulling an animal card for you this week. I will be using my Higher Intuitions Oracle cards. So let's see what power animal comes up for us. It was the swan spirit. That is not surprising to me either. The swan spirit has messages for us about transformation. Think of the story about the ugly duckling. That is the beginning of every swan, that they start out as these gray, fluffy little birds that some think are ugly. I find them very cute. But the swan undergoes this transformation into a beautiful white bird that just embodies grace. So when the swan spirit comes up, you are being asked to notice beauty around you. It can be flowers, it can be birds, it can be the lovely changing autumn colors. So don't just walk past those colorful trees, really notice them this week. It can be the beauty of the evening sky, it can be the beauty of the sun or the clouds, but it can also be the beauty of the people in your life. Maybe you have been preoccupied or too busy to really appreciate that lately, so the swan wants you to do that. It is also connected with the Tower card again, that this will feel very earth-shattering, maybe frightening too. So the swan comes up to remind you this is just the beginning. This is like the ugly duckling. It's a phase you have to live through, and then beauty will follow. So a card of transformation that comes up when you need to know that every situation can be transformed into something beautiful. In spiritual truth, everything is beautiful. Everything is love. So the swan reminds you of that. I will put him here. That means that the swan can also help enhance this loving energy of rose quartz. Yeah, so we have a week ahead that might be a bit dramatic, where there's a message that you must hear. You can't ignore it. Once you get the message, you need to reach out to other people. You need to talk it through. What did that mean? What am I supposed to do now? You need to foster this community spirit this week. It's very important that we get back in touch with that. And you have to bring healing into your life. Healing and balance. Many people are experiencing imbalance at the moment in many ways, and we have to strive towards that again too. So a week that has drama to offer us, but we're also given the way to deal with it right here. But our first perspective is very important. This is a message that you cannot ignore. Yeah, so that was the reading for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you would like a private reading with me, you can write the email that you see in the video description, or you can visit my Etsy shop. I wish you a wonderful week. Please do not go into fear energy about this Tower card. You are protected. You do have spirit guides that you can reach out to and ask for help. Actually, this week they won't accept no for an answer. So have a great week, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!